I thought it's about time we did another one of these. So it's a Tales from the Shed. Tales from the Shed. Tales from the Shed with your host, there's Cattys. Alright folks, how's it going? If you live in the UK, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but right now as I speak, there's someone called Eunice, I think it's Eunice anyway, that's absolutely farting on the UK. We are getting smashed with winds. I'm actually holding it down right now because I'm quite fat. Obviously the weight of me inside my shed is obviously keeping it down on the ground because we don't want it to end up like saying out of Mary Poppins. And yeah, it's getting a bit leery out there right now. Me lucky enough, me you know, structured bits of my house all right. People over there, their fences are all smashed to bits, but you don't really care about that, do you? You just want to sort of like, what am I going to talk about? Well, what am I going to talk about? Well, the first thing I'm going to do, folks, is get a brew on. All right, so I'll come back to you in a minute. I've knocked myself up another one of them stoves. I can't help myself. You know, I've got about 3 or 4 transient burners. Some of them I've sold now, and I seem to be using these DIY ones. They're absolutely brilliant. And I love them. So anyway, let's get a brew on. Oh, totally missed my stove then. There we go. Get out of there. Do-do-do. Didn't forget me water that time. Alright, brew on. Water on. So in the rest of the world, I don't know what it's like with the wind with you by, but anyway, with you people, but here in the UK, obviously, as I say, we've got Storm Eunice, and it's obviously smashing a lot of the UK right now. So with that, it's kind of screwed up my weekends camping. Now, I don't know if some of you, some of you have come across Barney's Bimbles, good friend of mine. We often go out camping together. He himself was down in the south of the country in the week, and he put a video up, and good call as far as I'm concerned. I think he kind of said that the video was his actual trip was a fail. Well, I really don't see it that way. I mean, there's too many idiots on YouTube, I think, that want to go and pitch tents on the top of summits of hills and or go into a woodland environment when it's blowing a hoolie. And to me, it's a good call. I was speaking to my mate John. We were supposed to be going out camping tomorrow from Saturday into Sunday, just doing an overnighter. But we come to the decision that, like, it's not worth it. It really ain't worth it. I think that the weather's supposed to be a bit less windy on Sunday. I am still going to go out myself. I'm not camping. I'm just going to be doing a little bit of going outside, obviously on my own locally. And then Sunday I'm meeting up with John for the day, because obviously the winds by then will have died down a hell of a lot more, and there'll be less of a hazard, and then we can then go on to live and talk and produce another video, hey, because that's what you people like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so yeah, talking of stoves, my little lightweight stoves that I'm making, you know, the super lightweight ones in the tin and everything else. If you don't know already, they're over on my Etsy store. I'm selling them in black and in a plain one. At the moment I've only got some black ones. I'm waiting for new stock to come in because I'm supplying a couple of shops now as well. Flipping heck, look at me, entrepreneur. East where I live, and then what's next? You know, it could be Milan, could be Peru, could be anywhere, couldn't it? You know, I may not be I'll be sending them these stoves too anyway. So if you are interested, folks, they do go pretty quickly, believe it or not. I'm really pleased. Obviously gives me support of the channel. I think I've had a lot of people buying them that don't even watch the videos, so they're obviously just looking on Etsy. But yeah, great. Oh look, I can hear my transient going. I'll come back to you in a sec. Mrs. C has managed to get hold of me of some more in Bailey's Kenko. coffee sachets. They're lovely, especially if you like a drop of Baileys. Really good, folks. Let's get the kettle off. Let's extinguish that. Oh, what was it? Oh, lovely jubbly. Spoon. La 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 shadow. Many me told that behave. Now, when I was out last week or whenever it was, when we went to Mildenhall, there was a guy, Mark, Northern Mark, don't know his surname, lovely geezer, and he gave me one of these. I always used to think they were called papooses or something like that, but they're not. So if anyone can put me right, please do. I literally put a little bit of leather to put a set of bellows on there as well, and there is just some matches and some jute twine and everything else. But then one of the other guys, Tim, he actually gave me a little bit of deer antler that he had, and then what I've done was I made my own. You know, I made my own one. So it's got a little lid there, sits on there quite snug. You know, I've put a little bit of orange cord because I didn't have any leather stuff to make it look a little bit more traditional. And then obviously I've drilled it out, hollowed it out, and all the rest of it to be able to use it for whatever else, you know, for whatever I can decide I'm going to use it for. Who knows? Might put a couple of roll-ups in there or something like that. What I was also doing as well, I was just sorting out some little bits really. I had a load of stuff hung up on there. And I thought, you know, why not just stick that in the theme as well? So if you haven't been up on the channel, you know, and this is your first time, flipping hell, woe betide you. But there's my little birch polypore strop that I made. Yeah, that's made out of fungus, if you didn't know, if you're new to fungus and stuff like that. Piece of birch polypore, literally stuck it on with a bit of Gorilla Glue, stuck on there quite nice, and I've still used it for stropping my my blades. Alright, a couple of other things I wanted to show you as well was two sort of little scoops of sorts. This was like a bowl that I got from my mate Mick. This is a birch bowl, and if you know about birch bowls, obviously, you know, it's where the tree becomes infected. That piece of wood goes absolutely solid, and I was lucky enough that it was still a bit soft enough for me to be able to actually scoop it out with just a crook knife. And then obviously I've just put a little bit of leather cord on it, a couple of little bits of antler just to make it look a little bit more tribal, and then obviously I can use that to put wine in or rum. And then to follow on from that, I've got a little spoon. Well, I say it's a spoon, it's probably more of a little drinking scoop, I reckon, just to be able to stick that in the water if you're in a kayak or something like that, and maybe just drink straight out of there if your water's pretty good, especially if you're somewhere like Sweden or something like that. Then there's my cookser. That's the cookser I made with Joe O'Leary last year, I think it was. Was it last year? Maybe it might have been last year or even the year before, I don't know. But that's the cookser. Oh, I haven't really drunk anything out of it yet. Now, birch bark. There's a bit of a theme here, isn't there, with birch bark. Now, this isn't brilliant, I don't think, really. I mean, yeah, okay, you know, something might go, oh, it's amazing, it's amazing. And I don't want people blowing smoke up my arse, because there's people that make birch containers a million times better than I ever could. And but basically what I did to kind of rescue this bit of birch bark, I kind of stripped all the, you know, obviously the outer flaky bits of it, and then rather than me sort of weave it in and everything else, I literally tacked it down the bottom with some nails onto the bottom piece there, and I haven't actually got nothing in there. It really is just empty at the moment. It sits up there on my shelf, and I literally bound it with some raffia all the way up, nothing special. And it does look quite nice. I've just not, as I say, I've not used it, but another little project there that I've done. I'm going to stick that back up there out of the way. Here's another two little birch bark containers. These ones live in my Wanigan. One of them's got, that's got tea in. All right, Barney, got flipping tea in that one, son. And then obviously in this one I've either got coffee or sugar. Sugar, you know what I mean? So again, all just, you know, nice little projects that I've made. Some time back there was a guy, Paul Bibby, he kindly mentioned me in a video with can't think of the guy's name. Is it Sandy or something that does all the knives? Down South Wiltshire man or something, and he actually gave me a mention on one of his videos because apparently I'd give him a little bit of inspiration for birch bark, and I think that's where doing a little birch bark sheath. These sort of projects were all being done during the you know, when we was in a bit of lockdown, when I was sort of kind of smashing out these towels from the shed jobbers. The actual knife itself, I actually put the handle on that only because I'd smashed the handle off the original one that come with it. It was it's Brusletto knife, and I literally put a piece of, I think that's ash, that handle, and then obviously I've put that, I've finished it off with a bit of burnt, you know, a bit of burn in there, burnish if you like, just to make it look a little bit more rustic, as it were. I don't really sort of, I mean, I love it, you know, I really do like them, but I don't tend to use them. I tend to just keep them as like hanging up in my shed really, which is quite a shame. And then we've got my little this is my little wooden sheath, which obviously holds the number 8 open knife. A bit tight, but it's obviously, it still goes in there. All right, so that's my open knife. Yeah, and then obviously what I've done with that, I've just, you know, again, just to make it look like that it goes with each other, that it's like husband and wife, they go in there nice and snug. And then what I've done now is I've wrapped them in a bit of artificial sinew, attached a piece of paracord. It's only because I haven't got any decent leather, otherwise I would have finished it off with a bit of leather. But again, you know, quite nice. And I even rubbed a bit of birch oil into that as well, so it's got that nice smoky aroma to it. And then only a couple of other things. Spoons, yeah, spoon's a spoon, you know what I mean. This is just something I just knocked up really quick, I'm not even going to bother. And then I had this was just like a this is what an old binocular lens, and I've got one in my one of my firelighting kits somewhere, and this one was just another spare one, and I literally just, you know, really on a quick whim, if you like, I literally just, you know, put a bit of leather around it, sewed it up, and then obviously I've got a nice little firelighting, you know, for, you know, if I want to use a solar method, which is a bit sort of like a bit risky here in the UK, isn't it? We don't really get much of that. We're better off carrying just a can of petrol and a lighter, really. And then the only other thing I want to show you there then is, look, a little birch chopper. This is made out of birch, little chopping board. Do I use it much? Do I? Heck. I've actually got a piece of birch here that I've been rubbing down quite thin. This is quite a thick piece of birch bark, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it and make myself another decent, I want to make it for me to put me little herbal bags in for me brew kit. All right, so you know what I mean. Anyway, all right, Cattys, breathe for you. And then amongst other things, I've been making stoves. Stoves, all sorts of stoves, the little ultra lightweight ones that I sell on the Etsy store, and obviously them little ones there as well. So yeah, there it is. I've kind of, you know, I was out the other day, you know, and I made that mistake of not, you know, of not having any water on me. You know, joking aside, that's quite a serious matter. I mean, that was really bad. I had a lot of things going through my mind, sort of like stuff I had to do, stuff I had to get on top of, and I literally just forgot my water. That was really bad admin, folks, you know what I mean? If you want to take something away from that, as much as it was a bit of, you know, I'm not that far from home where I sometimes go to record some of the videos, but if it was something a little bit more serious, then obviously, you know, I didn't even have a water purification kit, and normally I've even got one of them. I've got one in my in both my Helicon, you know, in both my rucksacks, you know, but obviously I didn't put any in there when I actually went out to do the mush in that video, you know. I think probably the last video that will go up before this one. So you know, there it is. So it's quite, you know, it can be quite serious. Obviously it just makes sense. I've got a notebook as well, and normally I jot stuff down, and I still do it now after all these years, where I just write things down just to sort of prompt myself, because as I find myself getting a little bit older, you know, I'm obviously forgetting things. So yeah, oh, there you are. Anyway, so oh yeah, while I think about it, a couple of weeks ago I did a podcast with a guy on Instagram called Anders B Bushcraft, and we did one kind of chat via Zoom and all the rest of it, and it didn't seem to work very well. Then we did it again using something else. I think it might, you know, I can't even remember what it was now, but unfortunately I think if you actually go over and have a look at his podcast, or listen to his podcast, the sound's very low. But yeah, I did a podcast quite really. It was a little bit of a chat. It was a bit difficult, you know, because obviously it flags up and down, and your conversation gets a little bit delayed. But yeah, I did that the other week. So anyway, there it is, folks. All right, I'll leave it at that, I think, for this video. And yeah, I'm going to sort out my gear, and then I'll be going out tomorrow morning, or I'll be going out tomorrow for just a stint on my own, and then Sunday I'm going to be meeting up with the old boy John, and we're going out up to other little woodland over his side of the water, and we'll have a bit of a catch up, and hopefully the wind, hopefully Beatrice or whatever her flipping name is will have done a good one by then and buggered off. Eustace or Eunice or whatever its name is. Alright, so there it is, folks. Alright, so take care. Alright, just a quick video, a bit of fun, you know what I mean, me babbling on and talking needlessly. Alright, please leave your comments down below. Do you think I should keep doing these tales from the shed if you get this far into the video, if you've not turned it off? Alright, let me know. I would appreciate it in the comments. I stopped doing them, really. I did enjoy doing it. It was great doing during the lockdown. I've had some positive feedback from people in the past saying that they were just good fun. It made them laugh when I was feeling a little bit down and all the rest of it, and that's kind of why I did it. I've done a few since then, and I've stopped doing them really because at the end of the day it's my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get my views up, and they don't seem to get that much viewing. Well, actually a lot of my videos didn't get a lot of viewing anyway, but there it is. But anyway, I appreciate your feedback. If you want me to carry it on, you know, doing a few more of these, they are really just a bit of fun, me talking, you know, usual crap. And there it is. All right, so take care, folks. Please stay safe, especially people in the UK during these windy conditions. All right, so take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Tales from the shed, tales from the shed, tales from the shed with your host, there's Catty. Laters.